Alan Quinlan is with us. Quinny, good morning to you. How are you?
Morning, lads. Yeah, good, Ger.
A 3-game ban for Johnny Sexton. We were having a debate earlier. Is this in the red? Is this in the amber? Is this in the green? Is this exactly what Ireland are happy with this, do you think? Or what's your takeaway?
I'd say everyone is pretty happy with this, with it just being 3 games, Ger. It could have been a lot worse. It's taken a long time, and that was surprising that it took this long to first of all get to the hearing. Since the game was played, I think that was in the end of August, right? Or around the 20th of August or something. Or May, May. Sorry, May, 20th of May or something around that. It's taken a long time, and I think it's the best possible outcome, I think, from an Irish Rugby World Cup point of view. Obviously, you know, I always thought he was going to get some sort of a suspension. He got the minimum, essentially. The mitigation and the early admission and all that kind of stuff, and his disciplinary record. It would have been 6 matches only for that. That's what the reports says. So they're the facts. So I think it's there's a bit of a sigh of relief here, I think, and it says at the end of it that Ireland have the right and Leinster have the right to appeal. I don't think there will be any appeal. I think it'll be taken, accepted, and move on. And it's a shame for Johnny Sexton in the sense that he's not going to get to play again in Ireland. Essentially, that's me thinking that obviously he's going to retire unless he changes his mind and goes back and plays with Leinster. It's a pity he doesn't get any kind of a send off. It would have been nice for him from an Irish point of view to play in the Aviva Stadium again. He won't get to do that. But as regards the suspension goes, I think it's not a bad scenario for him and for Ireland. Even though, look, he's going to be tarnished a little bit with this. He's got to be careful now, squeaky clean at the World Cup. And, you know, it's the best possible return, I suppose, from Ireland's Rugby World Cup squad.
So in terms of actually getting him match fit and ready to go for the World Cup tournament itself, what's the impact? It's certainly not ideal, I think, but I think he's proven over the years that he has the ability to kind of slot straight into big international matches and play really well and have an impact. It's not every player can do that. I think some players are the exception over the years. I think we saw it with Sean O'Brien a little bit, a couple of times with Cian Healy. Certain people can probably get away with that. Keith Earls.
Yeah, look, it's not ideal for everyone. I think if you're a background, if you were asking me, could I do it? I would be, you know, if you hadn't played for a number of weeks, the matches make you fit, they make you sharper. But I suppose for a player his age, it's all about in the mind and what kind of training and conditioning he'll be doing. He hasn't played, obviously, for a long time because of the injury. What about training?
Is there a way to have him take hits in training that prepare the body for the hits that he's going to get in the World Cup?
You can replicate it, but it's not the same. I think, of course, there will be the strength and conditioners and the fitness coach, Jason Cowman, and obviously the rugby coaches will you know, work on that kind of stuff. He might not have been involved in all 3 games anyway. I think you were an advocate 6 or 8 or 12 months ago about Cotton Wool and Johnny Sexton and get him to the World Cup. Well, it looks like we'll get him to the World Cup now. Maybe that's a positive. But look, I think, yeah, you can replicate it. And I think the latter parts of the strength and conditioning stuff and the rugby conditioning has changed dramatically, you know, for me playing for 15 years, from going back right to 96, 97 up to 2011. Each year was changing, evolving, different. You've got to do a lot of down and ups, hitting pads, you know, live tackling, all that kind of stuff, and then with a fitness component into it. So it's just at a different level now, and that probably enables players to be more match ready because they replicate a lot of the rugby stuff in the fitness sessions, if you understand what I mean. Yeah.
So look, he's shown before that he can do that. I just think, obviously Romania is an easier start for Ireland. So you'd imagine that's where he'll kind of get his preparation for hopefully the latter parts of the tournament, or the Scotland, the South African game. Tonga obviously is going to be that's no kind of easier way into a match, because they showed last week that on Friday that they beat a strong Australian A team, and they have a lot of strong players in the Tongan side. So that's going to be a tricky match for Ireland, a really physical one, but also they're a quality side as well.
Do you pick him for that Tonga game now? Does he now have to play every game in the World Cup is the question? Because
I don't think so. I think obviously you play him for, and this is, I don't think Ireland will panic about this. I don't think Johnny Sexton will. I think he'll still be, he's capable of being kind of sharp and ready. And as we said, that's down to the training. You do need matches that boost confidence and cohesion, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I think he probably will have some involvement. Obviously it depends what happens with Romania. Does he play the 80 minutes? Does he play 60 minutes and then play, half a match against Tonga? But you can't kind of be chopping and changing just to protect one player and get him right. I think obviously, as I said, the coaches and the fitness people. And listen, Johnny Sexton's the type of guy, I think, again, we've evidence of that he could play against Romania and not be involved in Tonga at all, and then come back for South Africa and be just fine. So he's really important for Ireland. That's the facts of the matter. But who knows how they're all training, you know what I mean, and what's happening behind the scenes. And how ready he will be. But I think, look, ideally you want to be in the best shape of your life going to a World Cup. That's what any rugby player ever all they ever want. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I think there will be certainly a sigh of relief here.
What does it mean for Ross Byrne and Frawley and Crowley? Like, how would you see the game time being split up then for those warm-up games?
I don't know, Shane. It's a good bit away. Obviously there's a battle in itself for, if we imagine that for South Africa and Scotland games, and maybe the Tonga game, who's kind of the starting out half, but who's behind them? They have their own battle to deal with. And maybe there'll be pressure on, who knows, Andy Farrell might surprise people and start, one of them against South Africa or Scotland, who knows, but certainly they'll all be trying to put their hands up. And I think certainly from the way that things have panned out for Ross Byrne, obviously the way he got himself back into the fold last year, after what happened in November and playing very well for Leinster, and Jack Crowley, the way he finished the season, I think caught the attention of a lot of people. So I think both of those guys won't be kind of going, well, Johnny Sexton's captain and he's the starting out half and that's going to happen. I think, Andy Farrell will want them believing that, maybe they can make the coaches change their mind here. And but as I said, they have their own battle to kind of get in as number 2 if Johnny Sexton starts against South Africa and Scotland.